talented, but they consistently lack support from the Nigerian Federation and from the Olympic Committee, and we saw that in the lead up to this Olympics. Nigeria played 2 European friendlies before arriving, one in Germany followed by one in Serbia. Queen John Mosif, who is the communications director for a team in the Basketball Africa League, commented on how the players were being mistreated during these 2 games. After their game in Germany, they were supposed to fly to Berlin and then fly to Serbia, but for some reason there were not enough funds to pay for that flight to Berlin, so they had to travel 8 hours by road instead, and then fly to Serbia. She goes on to say that the food wasn't great and the accommodations were terrible. There is very little information about this, and obviously nothing that's been verified because the Federation won't comment on any of it, but she even mentioned in her tweet that players have signed NDAs, or maybe she's saying they might have signed NDAs, I don't know. The point is, it's obvious they're lacking support from their Olympic Committee and Federation. So all of that happens before the Olympics. Then they get to the Olympics, and they're told to be included in the opening ceremony. All the basketball players for this Olympics are located in Lille, because that's where the basketball is happening. So before the opening ceremonies, all the countries, including Nigeria's women's basketball team, got into buses and had a 2-hour, 28-minute police-escorted bus trip down to Paris. So after all that travel, they get to the boat, excited for the opening ceremonies, and a Nigerian official tells them there's not enough room on the boat and they can't come on board. This is all according to Associated Press. They were turned away and told to go back to the athletes' village. And what makes it worse is they didn't just miss the opening ceremonies, they also missed their morning practice for the next day because they were actually traveling back in the morning. They couldn't make it to the place where all the other buses were leaving that night because they weren't a part of the ceremonies, so they had to find last-minute accommodation in Paris and then travel back the next morning. And after all of that, we get to today, time for their game against the 3rd best team in the world, Australia. But I guess there's really nothing like having something to prove because Nigeria comes out and they absolutely shut Australia down. The defense is denying Australia every chance they get. Offensively, they're taking every opportunity. At halftime, they're dominating. By full time, they've done it. They win. The last time they won was in 2004, and at that point, the Olympics were structured differently. It was an 11th place game that they won. So this is the first points that Nigeria has won in this event in Olympic history. They were forced by the actions of their federation and Olympic Committee to find the belief that they could win from within, because it wasn't coming from them. It was coming from their coach. It was coming from those players. And that is the power of sports to make a change, because today they won. Today, they're winners. And it's time to start